Welcome to Hio Audio's YouTube channel. Enjoy this chapter. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. The Steward Demonic Emperor, Chapter 23, Conspiracy. Get out. In the dead of night, Zhuo Fan was trying hard to staunch the flow of blood from his chest while sitting on the bed. Luo Yuncheng wanted to help him, but Zhuo Fan's bellow drove her out. Despite winning against You Quan, his victory wasn't a sweet one. If not for his sneak attack, the fight would have been one-sided, a common occurrence when demonic cultivators were involved. But he felt a deep sense of powerlessness from today's fight. Although they were 4 layers apart, he believed himself to be a demonic emperor that using all his power would have certainly finished off a kid still wet behind his ears. Yet reality showed that not only could he not win, but he also couldn't even get the upper hand in the fight. He had to rely on scheming to lure Veiled Dragon Pavilion out in the open and kill his enemy when he least expected by inciting chaos among the houses, while also providing the Luo clan a way out. It all went according to plan, yet it didn't leave a good taste in his mouth. Too weak. To get rid of their trouble with the Qi clan and Sun clan, they got tangled up in the 7 noble houses conflict. It was trading one poison for another. All was quiet for now, but they'd have to face the music sooner or later. Yet, with his meager power, he couldn't protect himself, let alone the Luo clan. I need to get stronger fast. Zhuo Fan clenched his teeth and performed strange hand gestures as his eyes let out an eerie red light. At this moment, Kai Zhaoting was meditating in a room when a sudden ache in his abdomen twisted his face in pain. Beads of sweat rolled down his forehead, and he soon passed out. A bloody light flashed from his abdomen, and a palm-sized infant came out. It was Zhuo Fan's blood infant. At the time he was in Qi Manor, Zhuo Fan inserted the blood infant in Kai Zhaoting to control Kai Rong. Because his movement was too fast, no one saw him. And under the threat of his son's life, Kai Rong was forced to let the Luo clan go. Thanks to the blood infant in Kai Zhaoting's body, Zhuo Fan could monitor their affairs. He would get an early warning of any plan they might come up with. But now, spying on the Qi clan had lost its value. The blood infant saw the unconscious Kai Zhaoting and let out a sneer in Zhuo Fan's voice. "Humph, I won't take your life so you could bear witness to the fall of the Qi clan." The blood infant then turned into a red light and flew outside. In a dark garden, a Qi clan guard was patrolling when a red light entered his body. He couldn't utter a sound as his body numbed. He soon shriveled up, and a light wind scattered him to dust, leaving behind the red glow. In this manner, more than 30 guards disappeared from the Qi clan. In the tavern, Zhuo Fan snickered and sent Blood Infant for the next prey. He and the Blood Infant were one. When the Blood Infant entered a cultivator, he used the demon transformation art to absorb the person's blood essence and yuan qi for Zhuo Fan to refine later. He didn't plan on using the blood infant so soon, but he needed it to heal his heart. So he might as well reduce Qi clan's numbers while he was at it. The blood infant reached the Qi Condensation, and even an early bone-tempering expert would find it troublesome to fight with. As for Qi Condensation opponents, it would kill them in an instant. If Zhuo Fan had the blood infant on him in his fight with You Quan, he could have won without having to resort to any schemes. He could only sigh as he thought of how it was the perfect match to have both the blood infant and the demon transformation art. Raising the blood infant was very difficult, and even Patriarch Blood Demon only reached Saint stage with it. Yet, thanks to the demon transformation art, Zhuo Fan raised to Qi Condensation after 10 days of hard work in the tavern. He did it during his previous seclusion. The first day, he used to bind the blood infant, and the rest to provide it with blood essence. Since the blood infant had reached such a level, it was time for it to collect blood essence. And in a clan like the Qi clan, bone-tempering experts were rare, so Zhuo Fan wasn't afraid that the blood infant would be harmed. This led to an unrestrained hunt as he sucked dry 50 more guards. But just when he planned to wipe away any Qi clan remnants, an eerie energy caught his attention. A demonic cultivator expert? Zhuo Fan was startled and guided the blood infant to the source. It arrived near a small room where a faint light burned. There were 24 peak Qi Condensation cultivators standing guard. It stirred Zhuo Fan's curiosity and drew blood infant to a window. As for those guards, they couldn't even detect the blood infant, not to mention see it. 3 elderly sat in the guest and main seats inside the room. The one in the main seat was Kai Rong. The first seat on his left was occupied by a bald old man with cloudy eyes and exuding a peculiar energy. Zhuo Fan recognized it in a second. It was from a demonic cultivator expert. The old man on Kai Rong's right wore noble attire, and faint traces of demonic energy leaked from him. It showed he was in the middle of changing to a demonic cultivation method. Yet Kai Rong and the noble-dressed old man were showing great respect to the bald demonic cultivator. Can it be? Zhuo Fan felt he was onto something when clan head cupped his hands before the bald man, Elder Jian. To what do I owe the honor of your and clan head son's visit? Cloudy eyes stared at Kai Rong until he trembled. It was then that Elder Jian smiled. I'm sure you know that a disciple from my Hell Valley was killed today by Veiled Dragon Pavilion. Wasn't it done by the Luo clan? Kai Rong let out a dry laugh. You think the Luo clan would have the nerve? Elder Jian laughed as his cloudy eyes shined. The feud between my Hell Valley and Veiled Dragon Pavilion was at a stalemate where neither dared to make the first move and break the balance of the 7 houses. Yet the Veiled Dragon Pavilion used the Luo clan to kill my disciple. What are they aiming for? This made Zhuo Fan muffle his laughter. Just as he expected, these 7 houses were treated like kings for so many years that they would never believe anyone would challenge their authority. It was because of such raw arrogance that made them believe there was a deeper scheme involved instead of taking what happened at face value. Veiled Dragon Pavilion was no different, willing to accept this injustice instead of showing weakness. Then you visited me because... Kai Rong hesitated. Ha ha ha, nothing much. Just help us to spy on Veiled Dragon Pavilion and understand their intent. It seems this event will trigger a battle between the houses. Elder Jian, that's the Veiled Dragon Pavilion. My Kai clan can't afford to offend them. Kai Rong panicked. He thought, why the hell are you 7 noble houses dragging my small clan into this? Shaking his head, Elder Jian said, Clan head Kai, don't misunderstand. There is no need for your clan to go head-to-head with Veiled Dragon Pavilion. It's just testing them, that is, dealing with the Luo clan and observing the Veiled Dragon Pavilion's reaction. What? Luo clan? Kai Rong was shocked. There wasn't anyone in the Windgaze city who didn't know of today's fight between You Quan and Zhuo Fan, that Luo clan was backed by the Veiled Dragon Pavilion. Yet here, you are asking me to go make a mess of Luo clan. Isn't that the same as offending the Veiled Dragon Pavilion? Kai Rong looked over at clan head son, only to see him smile with a hint of schadenfreude. Damn you. Since you're so close with Hell Valley, why don't you go mess with Luo clan? Didn't your daughter make a scene today? But now that you saw them with the Veiled Dragon Pavilion, you don't dare move an inch. Kai Rong felt his tooth itch from hatred, but didn't have the courage to refuse Hell Valley, AI, to tell the truth. I hate that punk Zhuo Fan the most. He came to my clan a few days ago to look for trouble. I don't know what evil trick he used, but he made my son cough blood for several days, and we still haven't found a cure. If I go after him, he would use the same trick to take my son's life." Pff. Before Kai Rong even finished, Zhuo Fan could barely hold his laughter. He left the blood infant inside Kai Zhaoting to teach the Kai clan a lesson, but never used it again afterward. He didn't expect the clan head would use such a lame excuse to escape this predicament. Even Elder Jian was skeptical of Kai Rong's flowery speech, and his face hardened. "Hey, Kai Rong, what are you trying to pull?" Upon seeing this, Kai Rong rushed to present an alternative. "Elder Jian, clan head's son, is the best man for the job and is also close with Hell Valley. Letting him in charge of this task won't disappoint you." Clan head's son jumped to his feet. Luo clan was a headache, and they didn't know how tight its relation was with the Veiled Dragon Pavilion. If he'd instigated Veiled Dragon Pavilion's involvement when he messed with the Luo clan, he'd be ruined. Despite the Sun clan and Hell Valley being related, the former was by no means one of the 7 noble houses. Getting on the Veiled Dragon Pavilion's wrong side was out of the question. It was unknown if the Hell Valley would stick its neck out for the Sun clan. Going after Luo clan was plain suicide. Seeing the 2 clans proclaim loyalty by day and shirking off their duties at crucial times, Elder Jian snapped, "Enough. You useless fools, I don't need any of you. I will find someone else for the job. Also, Kai Rong, have you brought your spirit-ranked martial art, Wind Kick? Please inspect it." Elder Jian, Kai clan rushed to present the jade slip, yet his eyes showed reluctance. "Elder Jian, this is the only spirit-ranked martial art the ancestors have passed down in my Kai clan." "Fine, I won't take advantage of you." Snorting, Elder Jian threw him a jade slip. "This is the spirit-ranked martial art, Flaming Finger, a higher rank than yours." Kai Rong was overjoyed, expressing his thanks again and again. Zhuo Fan, standing outside, was puzzled. Is Hell Valley muddled to exchange a mid-spirit-ranked martial art for a lower one? "Elder Jian, who did you find to deal with Luo clan, if you don't mind me asking?" Ignoring the martial art the Hell Valley bestowed on Kai Rong, clan head son asked. Kai Rong pricked up his ears to catch the answer. Snickering, Elder Jian's eyes flashed with disdain. "You bunch of dogs, afraid someone might replace you? Humph, relax will you, that person is from Hell Valley. Does the Hell Valley plan to step forward?" Why? Kai Rong and clan head son didn't mind Elder Jian's disdain and were surprised. With an odd light in his eyes, Elder Jian said, "He is a spy we have long planted in the Blackwind Mountain." Blackwind Mountain. Zhuo Fan was so shocked his heart skipped a beat and his control over his energy slipped. "Who's there?" Elder Jian whipped his head and launched a palm attack. The door was blown to pieces as Blood Infant turned into a red streak of light and flew away. Only now did Elder Jian rush outside. So quick. Zhuo Fan's shock wasn't small, but luck was with him as the guards were surrounding the place. He grinned and urged the Blood Infant to enter one of them. Blood boil. The guards were in shock as Zhuo Fan's shout blew up the guard. With no time to dodge, all the others next to him lost their lives. Elder Jian's figure was blocked by the sudden explosion, allowing Blood Infant's escape. Kai Rong and clan head son saw the wretched aftermath and were frightened. What was that? Elder Jian shook his head, yet his face turned grave. "I don't know, but it must belong to a demonic cultivator." The Steward Demonic Emperor, Chapter 24. Breakthrough again. Whoosh. A red light streaked in the dead of night, passing through doors and entering Zhuo Fan's body. Letting out a breath, Zhuo Fan opened his eyes as he rejoiced. Fortunately, the Blood Infant was quick to escape, or it would have been ruined by the bald elder. He never imagined he'd bump into such a strong opponent in the Qi clan. Even if he couldn't recognize the elder's cultivation, he was certain the elder was no less powerful than Godai Longjiu. And once Blood Infant was destroyed, because of Zhuo Fan's connection with it, it would spell doom for him too. But the opposite was also true. Even if his heart exploded, he wouldn't die as long as the Blood Infant lived. Because the moment he bound with the Blood Infant, it became his heart. I need to work harder on improving my strength. His vast experience told him danger was looming. For now, it looked like Hell Valley and Veiled Dragon Pavilion were silent, but the Blackwind Mountain might be the fuse to a disaster with the Luo clan smack in the middle. His fate rested on strengthening the Blood Infant to bone-tempering stage. This was the only way to ensure some semblance of control when he met an expert like Long Jiu. Zhuo Fan closed his eyes and refined the Yuan Qi and blood essence the Blood Infant had collected. In the next moment, red flashes came from his chest as red energy coursed through his veins to his heart. As the energy gathered, the hole in his chest began to heal. His weak heartbeat soon started pounding with greater force. In but an hour, his chest healed, with not even a scar left behind. If one didn't witness his heart exploding, they wouldn't believe the events of this morning occurred. He continued refining the Blood Infant's gathered Yuan Qi and turning it into black energy. One part flowed into his Danshan and another back to the Blood Infant. No less than 50 Qi Condensation experts Yuan Qi were refined and propelled Zhuo Fan through the third layer of Qi Condensation and to the brink of entering the fourth layer. With a faint boom, Zhuo Fan and Blood Infant broke through to the fourth layer. Zhuo Fan was happy. It was so easy to increase one's strength. It was only 10 days ago that he entered the second layer, and here he was now in the fourth. But when he wanted to work towards the fifth layer, he found Blood Infant's Yuan Qi reserves had been spent. He wanted to keep going, but he was satisfied he at least advanced to layers in one go. He looked out the window at the clearing sky and walked out to stretch his legs. Now that Blackwind Mountain was coming, he had to find a safe haven for the Luo clan. Zhuo Fan opened the door to his room, but before he could take a step, a thump resounded and something fell at his feet. He looked to see a drowsy Luo Yuncheng getting back up in embarrassment. "What are you doing?" Zhuo Fan frowned. He poured all his focus on controlling the Blood Infant last night and then cultivating, so he didn't pay attention to what happened outside his room to the point he didn't detect her. Damn it! How could I become so careless? If it were an enemy instead, I would have been dead. Seeing his angry look, Luo Yuncheng was apologetic as she mumbled, "I was worried about your wounds worsening and waited outside. Now that you're all right, I'll be going." "Wait, you stood guard all night?" Zhuo Fan was shocked. Luo Yuncheng blushed and turned to leave with a more hurried pace than before. Captain Pang took this moment to appear and saw Zhuo Fan safe and sound and shouted in joy, "Brother Zhuo, you've recovered. That wound of yours scared all of us to death. Young Miss always stayed at your door, worried for your life." Where is she?" "She left." Zhuo Fan rubbed his nose and said calmly, yet warmth grew in his heart, "Damn this heart demon." Zhuo Fan cursed. How could the glorious demonic emperor feel anything for a mere woman? This must be the work of the kid's heart demon. "Right, old Pang, you came right on time. Come with me to the Veiled Dragon Pavilion." "But what about young Miss and—" "Relax. After yesterday's event, no one would dare touch them, for fear of offending Veiled Dragon Pavilion." Zhuo Fan snickered. Captain Pang had to take a moment to recover and reacted by giving thumbs up as his eyes glittered with worship. He didn't get Zhuo Fan's plan, but he was clear Zhuo Fan made others misunderstand that Veiled Dragon Pavilion was backing Luo clan. Steward Zhuo, I am now thoroughly convinced. If the Luo clan didn't have you as a steward, we would have been doomed. It was a waste of your talents to have left you sweeping the courtyard back in the day. Laughing, Zhuo Fan patted Captain Pang's shoulder and shook his head. That person wasn't me. 15 minutes later found the two at the gates of Veiled Dragon Pavilion, before the same two guards. But this time, they showed proper respect. Please enter, dear guests. What? You won't go and report first? Zhuo Fan mocked. After giving a silly laugh, a guard knew Zhuo Fan was still bothered by what happened before and apologized. It was us who were ignorant before and didn't recognize your greatness. You made a deal of 1,000,000 spirit stones.